Ashleigh, it turns out the video was shared somehow around school. I don't know how many people got it. I don't know how many people saw it, but one student was smart enough and brave enough to take the video to a school resource officer who viewed it, clearly saw what we've all seen, something horrific, and immediately contacted the authorities. And then the authorities were able to sort of work around the area and the people in this orbit of the driver that they already, knew of, and were able to discern who that second passenger was and the driver in the earlier hit and run, because as you said, they sort of switched spots. And yes, they were wearing masks, but they said that the actual, what you're looking at right here, the kid in the balaclava here, fled the scene when they actually found the initial driver. And so they were able to see sort of what he was wearing and some tattoos and some sort of identifiable features that when they executed a search warrant on this kid's house, they found clothes that were able to connect him back to the crime, as well as looking at other surveillance videos to be able to connect this particular person back to the crime. But as you said, they have not named names, but I expect those to be coming soon.
Yeah, me too. I expect them to be charged as adults. You're gonna hear from the DA in a moment of Clark County, who was pretty damn clear how it works in his county. In the meantime, I just want to touch base on what you said, because the detail was so delicious. When they fled from their fourth stolen car and their third hit and run, the clothes and the tattoos that passenger with the orange balaclava had, those were recorded on surveillance video out there on the street. And so when they executed the warrant at his house, they found the clothes, they saw the tattoos, they were able to make the positive ID on that guy. So mask schmask. Those police officers in good old-fashioned gumshoe work caught him. I want to just play, if I can, Caitlyn. Andy's daughter, Taylor Probst, spoke at the news conference just a few hours ago. I mean, waterworks, for me, were pretty profound, but she was so stoic talking about her dad and also talking about what she wants to see culturally, because I know there's a lot of politics that are playing into this. Right-leaning media running this, left-leaning media not running it. People claiming that it's because of race. Maybe they're saying the coverage is because of race. Maybe they're saying the hit. That's not what we're saying. But I want you to hear what Taylor had to say about it. Take a listen.
Andy's life was robbed by two individuals who did not believe that lives of others matter. We believe that Andy's murder is a direct result of society's decayed family values and the strong effects that social media has on our youth. We as a family in no way feel that Andy's murder was based on race or profession. It was a random act of violence. We ask you to not politicize or use Andy's murder to fuel political agendas or to create cultural wars.
It was so important what she said, that this is the result of decayed family values and the strong effects that social media has on our youth. Do we know about anything more about the other victims? And when I say that, I mean the 72-year-old cyclist who was hit a half hour before and survived, and then the motorist in the white Toyota Corolla who was hit. I mean, literally, they were doing a pit maneuver on him just seconds before they went and killed Andy Probst. How are those people doing?
Thankfully, Ashleigh, they're doing well. They were both pretty much unharmed. The motorist who was driving the Corolla was basically just kind of shaken up from the impact of getting jostled by the other car. That was the extent of, his apparent injuries. There really were none. And as for the 72-year-old, he was more shaken up than anything else, but didn't actually have to go to the hospital, was checked out on scene, and was able to sort of go home. But I think what is crucial here is these two individuals are going to be the key witnesses for once this case goes to trial. They were both victims, but came out unscathed and were able to see exactly what happened and are able to tell a jury exactly how this went down, as if they needed it on top of this incredibly damning video. I mean, I don't think I've ever covered a case that I would consider open and shut, but this, I think, is the one.
Yeah. Hey, real quickly, I got 10 seconds left. Do we know if these kids are being held in isolation in the Clark County Juvenile Detention Center because of the notoriety that they are probably receiving because of this murder?
We don't know a lot about what's going on with these two. Since they are considered legally juveniles in this case, the police department is not letting any sort of information go. And I do think all of that is going to change the second these things are upgraded. Once they're considered adults, we're going to find out where they're being held, how they're being held, what their names are, what their family life was like. We're really going to be able to kind of do a deep dive into who these individuals were.
Yeah, and we're going to have a deep dive into what they're facing. Caitlyn Becker, thank you for all the reporting. Really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.